Hi everybody, I'm Susan and this is my channel, Susan's Road Less Traveled. Well, today is the big day. I am off from work and this is the day that I arranged to meet the mechanic to get Alice back. So I'm picking up my 1974 Volkswagen Westfalia bus and I'm going to meet with him for a short bit to go over everything that he did and give me the pointers that I need for the next few weeks, which will be the break-in period. So I've got a 300 to 500 mile break-in before an oil change and another valve adjustment. So we'll work out the details of that, and hopefully I don't put 500 miles on her in the next 3 days, but it's foreseeable. But anyway, because I do plan a couple of trips this weekend, so. But I plan on spending the rest of the day after I meet with him and pick her up to just go through her, bath, clean her out, dust her out, and then basically put all of the new things in that I have been buying in the last couple of weeks, months maybe, to kind of refurbish and redecorate inside. So I kind of was thinking about it that I've been nesting for the past couple of months, trying to get ready to just kind of change out the decor. So as you may have seen in a couple of other previous videos, I was messing with the curtains inside that I had for about 10 years. And so those will get installed today. And then just some other things that I decided to change the look of her inside. So new seat covers and all that type of stuff. So I basically have this pile of stuff that I'm going to be going through one at a time and just basically refurb the inside of her and spend the rest of the day. So it's beautiful weather. It's about 65 degrees outside, sunny, great day to work outside with the doors open to the bus. And I'm just really excited to get her back. So stay tuned for more video later today on just everything that I've got going on with all of these tasks. And I appreciate everybody sticking around. Subscribe if you haven't already. More videos to come now that I've got Alice back on the road. So we're at the car wash again. You can hear me, and she hasn't had a bath for 6 months. Here's where I tried to take off some rust, just a lot of mold, some stuff around it. So I'm getting ready to wash her again. Get her all cleaned up, and then I'll get her home, and then I'll reveal the engine. She's driving great. Clutch is a little different, so I'm trying to get used to that. Much better. Not perfect. How you doing, Alice? Got these little flecky spots on here. They kind of pick off, but I don't have any fingernails, but I'm not sure exactly what they are. So I'll have to work on that. But alright, home. Go start putting stuff inside of her. So curtains are going to be first things first, and I'm working on this long window by the closet, and it starts all the way over here. These screws are so freaking small. I don't have a screwdriver that's the right size. So I've got most of the curtains in. The fabric's thicker than what I had last time, so they're gonna take up, it's gonna be more difficult to kind of bunch them together, and I'll show you what I have planned to kind of make a little cafe curtain type of opening. But I'm gonna get ready to do the back window, and the one thing that I failed to remember on the back door is that there's two frames that go, one across the top, one across the bottom. So when you open the door, the curtain doesn't flap down. And I forgot about that because I didn't have my old curtains. So I'm gonna measure and see if, and I'm pretty sure I have enough fabric length that I'm gonna have to sew another pocket at the bottom and whip that off real quick, and then I can put the curtains along the top frame and the bottom frame. And then what I usually do is have two panels and gather them to the side to leave the opening to see. So let me see what that looks like. Okay, so hopefully you can see this, but what I've got is I've got my pocket that's going to go on the top rail, and then they're too long to this point where I'm going to do a pocket for the bottom rail. And then I'm thinking that I'll just leave this to hang down because there's wood paneling on the back side of the door right here, so it'll just hang down. So what I'm going to do is, because this fabric is just doubled over and stitched up the seam, is I'm going to tear into that seam and make an opening, and then I'm just going to run a straight stitch the entire length of each one of these. And I have two panels for each side, and so I'm just going to run a straight stitch with about 1.25 inches maybe on either side of this being the center of the bottom rail, all along the two panels to create that bottom pocket. And then I'll have this hanging free, and then I'll just scrunch them to either side. So I'm going to do that later because I've got some other seat cushions and things that I want to put in, new seat covers and stuff. I'm going to do that first and come back to the curtains and do that last. So I took the seat off, and you can see, I mean, I've got a lot of packing missing. I'm not really dealing with that at this point. I'm gonna put all of that back up in here somehow. But what I'm using is to kind of cushion out, because you can feel, you can see the springs in here. I'm just using these pillow forms, and they're gonna just be up underneath the new seat cover to give some cushion. The back seat is not a problem, so that's that. So while I've got the seat out, I'm gonna go ahead and remove these old speakers. When I bought the bus 10 years ago, it had a tape deck in it, a cassette deck, and I've got two speakers up front on the dash, and then I had two behind the seats here. I'll take the other one out, it's over there. And then I actually had two that were in the back mounted by the bed, and when you pulled the bed out to sleep on it, the person on each side would have a Craig speaker jabbing into their side. So I had pulled those about 5 years ago, and I've just been, these were kind of out of sight, out of mind. So Craig speakers, bye-bye. Seat cushions are in, seat covers are in. They look really nice. So I've got this console box that the previous owner had built into the middle of the seats, and it's got a top on it that they had put some carpeting on. And you know, I've been driving around with this nasty carpet, so I decided at work that I had found a remnant piece of fabric. Since I'm kind of going with the black theme inside, we'll see how, you know, undirty and undog hairy it'll be. That remains to be seen. But so anyway, this is just kind of a weave fabric. So what I did was, because I don't have a staple gun, was just wrap it around, fold it, and then I had 3 screws left over. You know how you do a project and you always have a screw left over? So I had 3 screws left over, so I just folded it in and screwed it down in 3 different places to hold the fabric in. And I'm gonna go seat this into the top of that box, and let's see what it looks like. So there it is, seated into that open space. It looks so much cleaner. Oh, this carpet remnant was probably a shag rug from 1982 maybe. So that is just a much cleaner, nicer look with the front seat cover. So the dogs do come back and forth occasionally. Most of the time I have a dog seat that I hang from the seat that they sit in, so they're not really running back and forth. And generally I have a fair amount of stuff in the back. There's not a lot of room for them to run around anyway. So so I have a few more accessories that I'm going to put out, and I might go out and take it for a run. And the other neat thing about this console is that it's got 2 like cup holders drilled into it. So I just put these little stadium cups into it, and I can either set a drink in it like such, or just keep coins and change and stuff like that, pens. So that's kind of a neat little feature that they added to that. So I also, in the black and white theme, I got a couple of little boxes. This was a, you know, like a $1.99 crate that was on sale. It was wood. I painted it black. This is another little box that I'm gonna just leave here. I can put sunglasses in, put my phone, you know, some other stuff when I get out of the car or whatever that's kind of hidden away. So a couple of things left to do, but when I pop the top, it hasn't been popped in probably 8 months. This is nasty. I never open this front, so I'm gonna go ahead and just trim it out. And you know, this just isn't an expense that I have to do right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this stuff out and see, and I'm sure it's gonna look better. I have no doubt. Just that much looks halfway better, and it's practically peeling off itself, but I don't want to pull on it too much because I don't want to rip the canvas. So on to the other side. So heck yes, that looks so much better. The side ones could probably use it too. I never use them. I think I might take those down too. Just so tattered looking. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take that one down. I'll check the other side. So that looks so much better. Got one little space up by where the zippers come together. See if I have to do something with that. And you know, but I mean, seriously, I think this is original. And I've got, you know, one little tear there. Don't worry about it. Do have to try to do something with this seal. I'm not sure exactly how that, I see how it works, but I can't really reach it, so I'm going to try to straighten that out before I bring her down again. So the passenger side venting is not as bad, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it, just because then it does give me an option to open up top if I need to. I've never had problems with bugs or anything, but sorry for the sunlight. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave that one. You can see it's totally apart there and there, but there's some substance to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one. And yeah, they can't tell with the dark. The stripping holding up the top is in place up there on this side, but I'm gonna see what I can do to try to jam that stuff up into that other side. When I lower the top down, I can reach it better. So I've got a few more things to do. I'm almost done. One last piece of fabric that I had left over is long enough that, Sammy, can you move? Get out. Get. So one last piece of fabric that I have left over is just long enough, barring a couple of inches on either side, to fit on my dashboard. So I'm gonna finish it off, and it'll be something that when I'm just sitting, I can lay up on the dash and block the heat from that black metal that's right inside the windshield. So I had another piece of fabric. Of course, when I drive and I have the windows open, it blows all over the place. But what I might do is eventually maybe sew in some magnets into the corners, and that way it would anchor itself down. But for now, I'm just gonna stitch this up real quick, turn it inside out, and stitch it up on the other side and set it on the dash. And then the last thing I have is my new mattress pad, and I'll show you that. So here's my mattress, and I'm going to let it set here for a couple of days to puff up. And then I've got this mattress top cover that I used to have on another one that I'll wrap it up in, and trust that it's gonna puff up into 2 inches, because that's what it's supposed to be. And right now it is flatter and flat, maybe an inch, half an inch. So we'll follow up on that in another day or so. Hi everybody. Well, it's been a busy and exciting day, and in a manner of about 4.5 hours, I've finished making out Alice the way that I want to deck her out. So I'm going to turn the camera around and give you a little tour of my new decor, my new home on wheels. All right, everybody, so welcome to Alice, and I'm so proud of her and what we've accomplished in the last 4 months. I haven't literally driven her for 6 months, since October, but I decided to deck her out in black accents and kind of go away from the hippie dippy trippy stuff that I had in before. So I've replaced her car seat covers. You know, I do have all the original seating, but I put in 2-inch foam cushions underneath each car seat cover and hooked them down. Original dash. I am going to install a stereo. I have an appointment for that in late May. So I'm just going to do a head unit with a CD and Bluetooth, and then I'm just going to replace the 2 speakers that are up in the front. I really don't need that much more music. I actually just took out 2 old speakers. I showed you my console, which I covered in black and took away this old rug. I have a placemat there. I'm actually going to use this for my dogs when they eat. Got some black boxes to coordinate and organize. And so let me bring you into the back. So of course I've got all the original cabinetry. Do have some laminate issues that I'm going to try to take care of. Gotta glue that down and then punch it down to hold it, but I've got a few little missing chips on my cabinets, which is unfortunate, but it's almost 50 years old. So view up to the cab, and then as you saw on the outside, my canvas is in fairly good shape. You know, I've got these few holes where they get caught on the bracket, kind of like a buckle wearing through your shirt is what it reminds me of. I've got to get up to the top and clean this mold off the top. I am going to do that before I shut it down. All new curtains, so sewed all new drapes. It's dark out. It's getting to be the end of the day. It's about 3:30, so not the greatest of light, but I'll try to show it in the daylight, actually. But, and then I just tied each curtain off with a little bow, a piece of ribbon. I didn't secure them to the curtains because I really wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do overall. But so if I decide that that's the way I'm going to secure them, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to take the ribbon off and put them in a little baggie at the end of the night and draw the curtains. So the other thing that I decided to do, and so far I'm not sure I'm going to stay with it or not, but it's sweepable, is I put this cosplay foam down. It runs underneath the table level, so I can still swing the table up, and it's not thick. It's not too thick to get in the way of me swinging the table. If I do keep it, then I'm going to have to punch a hole through the mat where the bracket is to screw the table in, so I can secure the table and not move the mat. I'm able to sweep this out pretty easily, but I can tell already it's kind of dusty, so I'm probably going to go with a rug, a black and white rug, and I have one of those in mind. So, and then let me show you one more thing that I did with this white curtain, and I'll pull it out. So if this comes through, the idea behind this curtain is just a regular spring rod with a metal hooks for the curtain itself, and I'm using it to basically be a mosquito netting screen for when I am camped, and if it's hot, I can close it up and kind of attach it and have it, it's kind of blowing in at the moment, but kind of have a bit of a screen up when the air is nice. And you know, the dogs will stay in too. I think they'll not understand that they can probably go right through it. But so anyway, that's my sort of solution for creating some netting and some screening at the end of the day when it kind of cools down. Black pillow, black blanket, green pillows that I kept. And this is the last bastion of my hippie stuff that's left over. So, goodbye everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, and stick around for more adventures. Peace out.